Java is a high-level language. It's a programming language. It has rules and vocabulary. The rules is called syntax, and the vocabulary is called keywords. So you need to learn syntax and you need to learn keywords. First thing, Java deals with the brackets. Okay, as written here, it deals with the brackets. These types of brackets you will see in Java programs. Curly brackets, round brackets, although they are called parentheses, square brackets, and angle brackets. For those brackets, we have an opening bracket and a closing bracket from left to right, because English language is, we write English letters from left to right. This is the opening bracket, and this is the closing bracket. Similarly for the other brackets. So when you open a bracket in your program, you must close it somewhere, not necessarily on the same line. Another thing, Java is case sensitive. Case, what does it mean by case? Case, it means capital letter, small letter. So if we write a letter A in capital letter, we say that this letter is in uppercase. And when we write it in a small letter, we say it is in lowercase. So uppercase and lowercase. Now you need to use capital letter and small letter for English, and for programming languages, we use uppercase and lowercase. Case sensitive, what does it mean? It means if you write a letter to Java, Java makes a difference between small letter and capital letter. You know that in English, capital letter A and A represents the same letter, نفس الحرف. But to Java, they are different. Some languages like Pascal is not case sensitive. Visual Basic is not case sensitive. When you write a letter, it doesn't care if you write it in a small letter or capital letter. As long as the command spelling is correct, it doesn't matter. So it is be careful when you write the command that you should not write a small letter in the place of capital letter, and etc. When you want to write a program in Java, you need also to prepare this program as a structure. So every program in Java should start with a line written that consists of public, followed by class, followed by your program name. Now, the keywords in blue, it means these are keywords for Java, vocabulary. So you have to learn them as they are. Public, P small letter, U small letter, B small letter, else, and etc. Between any two keywords with the other ones, minimum 1 space. So here you can leave as many spaces as possible. Now, the keyword written in black, it means this is programmer's choice. So you can write anything for your program. You want to call your program adding 2 numbers, hello program, and etc. In the next line, you need curly brackets. This is for opening your class. And by the way, we are creating a class. And remember when we discussed object-oriented, that our program consists of classes. Inside these classes, from these classes, we will create objects. So your program should have these 3 lines, and it doesn't matter where you write these lines, as long as the syntax is correct. So it doesn't matter. But for looking for easy reading, we'd like to put each open bracket and a closed bracket on separate line. Anything you write between these brackets will be the content of the class. So anything you write in between will be like a group of lines belongs to this group. And this group belongs to class. Inside the class, you need to write what's called a method. So see, again, we are using also curly brackets. And move it to a little bit to the right to make it easy for reading. So this is your class. This is the opening of your class. And inside we have a method. Also, the method has a title and also has a group of lines. So it looks like we have a group inside a group. And this will be the title of the group. So the title for this group is public class, and the title for this group will be public static void. Now, every program you write in Java should have this structure. I don't want to go in detail what these keywords do, because this is not the right time. Now we want to teach you fundamentals of Java. And all what I can tell you that for any program you want to write in Java, just start with these lines. And where you put your program, you put your program inside this method. So we have a class, and we have inside it a method. And then your program will come inside this method. Each line or each statement, which is a Java instruction, should be appended with semicolon. Appended, it means terminated. So any program you want to write instructions inside it, you have to terminate each line by a semicolon. Main, which is this one, see it's written main. It's called a method of the class. So it's a method inside the class. This is an example. The example we want to write is to print just a message on the screen, printing a message hello. So first you write these lines for the program. You write public class hello world, and then you put the grouping for the class, and then inside you write the method. See the spaces here, because we want to format our program so we know which line belongs to which group. Now, if you look at main, since there is a space to the right, then we know that this main belongs to class. But if you write everything in one column, then it will be very difficult to spot which line belongs to which group. Now you write your commands inside, and see the spaces also here, because these lines part of this group. Now the first line, there are double backslash. This is in fact a comment in Java. And when we say comment, it means you write note for some part of your program for you. You write a note. And when you write a note, imagine you don't have these backslashes. Then everything you write inside, Java compiler will assume it's a Java command. And when it reads the printing, it will not understand it and say this is not a command. It will give you syntax error. But if this is a comment, you are writing a note. So put before the note double backslash, it will ignore it. Now here the program has 2 lines. And how do I know that it has 2 lines? By look and see. When you go over the command, see what do we have at the end? We have semicolon. So this is the first statement. And then we go to the second one. Where is the semicolon? So we have a statement. So it is better as formatting, للتنسيق, you write every statement on a single line. But this is not a must for the compiler. The compiler doesn't care how you format your program. The look of the program is not important to the compiler, but it is important to us, programmer or people who would like to use your program. So this is why any statement with semicolon, you put that statement on a separate line. So this is a comment, as I mentioned, and a comment is ignored by the Java compiler. Programming is it's not just learning syntax and keywords or vocabularies. Programming, you need to design your program. So if you have a problem and you want to solve this problem, then you have to write the algorithm for it. Remember, the algorithms are set of instructions. They might be written in English. So you have to make your design. You have to think about the steps you write to get the solution. After you get the algorithm, then you convert it into a computer program by learning Java language or Python language or Visual Basic to convert it into a programming language. Now, the steps that you need to go through if you want to design an algorithm, 3 phases, 3 مراحل. First, in the left-hand side, first you think about what is the input to your program. And when you write a program for any problem, we'll call it a problem, think about what is the input to your problem. And then after the input, the next stage is a process. you do calculations on the input. And last is give results of your process as an output. So stage 1 input goes next to process, goes next as output. Every program you are going to write should go through these phases. Let's consider the following problem. You want to write an algorithm for adding 2 numbers. Remember that you are the programmer. You are going to write instructions to the computer. And when we say instructions, it means command. And when we say commands like order, awamr, okay? All what you have to do, add, take input, compute. So the steps that you are going to write for the algorithm are in fact instructions, ta'alimat. So how to organize these steps is in fact problem solving for the problem. So when we say problem solving, it means designing steps for the solution, then it is called an algorithm. Step number 1, ask the user to give 2 numbers. What is the problem? Adding 2 numbers. Of course, the computer cannot add 2 numbers without having these 2 numbers. So the first thing, we tell the computer to ask the user to give the 2 numbers. Next, we read the 2 numbers. It's like you write it down, but in terms of programming, we say save them. So first you ask the user, and then you take the 2 numbers. And it is very important that you put ask the user before read. Because when we say read, then it doesn't mean that we ask the user. These 2 steps belongs to input. So now this is the first phase. First you ask and then you read. It's part of input. Next, after the 2 numbers are saved, then the computer will go to process, will add the 2 numbers. After the numbers are added, then the result should be shown to the user, should be displayed to the user. So the final step belongs to output. Now these steps should be complete. As you remember that algorithms should be complete, kamil, and precise, daqiq. Okay, so you have to write specifically to the computer what you want to do. You cannot add 2 numbers by missing one of these steps. So this is called an algorithm. It's written in English, sometimes in a pseudocode with certain keywords. For example, instead we say ask, we say print, and we write the message, and we say read, and instead of add here we put equation. So it is an algorithm, but with certain keywords. It's called a pseudocode. In Java, for the input, if I want to ask the user, I display a message, and this is how it is done in Java. And by the way, I don't expect you to understand what is written here, but just to show you a feeling of what will be the input for Java statements. So this first one, print, ask the user for 2 numbers, and the second and third for reading the 2 numbers. So we have 2 numbers. One is called first, the second one is called second. In the process, the computer or the Java program, it is doing calculation. It will add first with second and save it into sum. So now we have 3 variables, first, second, and sum. First and second are taken from the user, and sum is done by the computer as an intermediate result, اللي هي نتيجة مؤقتة that the computer uses in the program. For the output, you print the message to the user that the summation is equal to sum. So this is what we will do for problem solving for every problem that we need to write Java program for.